Amy, what's happiness for you?
I said being content without a word.
Being content and without a word. So that, Dylan, would be money, right? If you're content and without worry. Okay, what else? I think that'd be a good one that a lot of folks would agree with. If I'm not worried about something, therefore I must be happy. Sometimes people will say not being in pain is happiness. So it's not something that you're experiencing, but it's the fact that you're not experiencing something else. What was that gesture? Now we're raising hands sideways.
I said like having fun.
What makes something fun?
Playing video games.
Is that what you put for yours, playing video games?
No, but that's like one of the things.
Gavin, we good?
Yeah, just saying really gross.
Connor?
Generally enjoying life with what's going on right now.
Enjoying life with what's going on.
Yeah.
Okay. So not having to like change circumstances and all that stuff. Okay. Josh, not having wisdom teeth, is that happiness?
Yeah, it's don't have to worry about it later.
Places that bring happiness.
It's different for everybody.
Yes. Hence the opinion.
So like to have a football field.
Okay. So, football, some people go sleep, vacation, summer. Some argue work. Work makes me happy because I then make money and then Dylan has money to use later on for happiness. Chick-fil-A, to work or to eat? Both. Okay. To eat. The one thing on here that I always find to be curious, and I don't have an answer with it. Can you be happy if you're sleeping? And the way, listen up, the way that people will go, this is why sleep brings me happiness is, and not saying that Amy's definition would be, synonymous with it, but the fact that I don't have to worry about something is what makes me happy, that folks would argue. And at that point, I think basically you're looking at, and it's not a right or a wrong, but you're looking at happiness versus pain. Is the absence of one indicative of the other, where if I'm not happy, therefore I must be in pain, or grief, whatever kind of word you want to use? Or is it also if I'm not in pain or I'm not worrying, therefore I must be happy? Where if you have something specific, like say a vacation, football field or any other kind of activity or whatnot, there's usually something about those things that brings specific enjoyment. For sleep, I think we enjoy sleep because I can get a break if I don't have to worry about doing something else. So that whole idea about happiness, I think that ends up kind of being the big difference for folks. Is it because you get to do something, or is it because you don't have to worry about something else? Reason we come up with this question as to what is happiness, Montauk, Guy in part 1, and really kind of throughout part 2 in some ways, is trying to pursue happiness. Opening line of the book, Josh, what'd you put for your opening line?
It's a pleasure to burn.
It's a pleasure to burn. So for him, at the very beginning, with it being a pleasure to burn, that means that he finds some kind of happiness with it. How can you tell that he's happy? Or how can you tell that at least he thinks he would be happy about it? Oh, he's got a big smile on his face as he leaves work, as he heads home and whatnot. But what ends up kind of causing him to question, am I really happy? Is it something that I enjoy? That's when Clarice kind of starts to show up. If you have your book, take a look at page 9. If you don't, just take a look at someone who's buying.
Alright.
Dad. Page 9, last paragraph. He felt his smile slide away, melt, fold over and down on itself like a tallow skin, like the stuff of a fantastic candle burning too long and now collapsing and now blown out. Darkness. He was not happy. He was not happy, he said the words to himself. He recognized this as the true state of affairs. He wore his happiness like a mask, and the girl had run off across the lawn with the mask, and there was no way of going to knock on her door and ask for her back. This is after he returns home, before he has gone into the bedroom and found out that Millie is, kind of out of it at this point because of the sleeping pills. But he's already had his conversation with Clarice. He's talked about how much he enjoys being a fireman, and then you get this description with his smile, where the simile that goes with it is the smile is like a mask. So underneath Montauk's smile for page 9, make sure you put like a mask, next to it, simile. What we're doing here is we're taking specific little references along the way and trying to find out what would be maybe some more symbolic or significant meaning that's going to go with it. If it is like a mask, basically it would be saying it's a what? It's a cover, it's fake, it's a front. There's another word from vocab list number 8 that we could use. It's a facade. Okay, it is a fake front. What? I'll use this one for now. It doesn't quite match your shirt as well, but that's all right. So Montauk's smile is a front facade or a fake presentation of how he feels. What's an object that besides a mask it gets compared to? It's compared to a candle. He felt his smile slide away, melt, fold over, and down on itself like a tallow skin, like the stuff of a fantastic candle burning too long and now collapsing and now blown out. Notice with the connection with the candle, when does a candle start to melt and fold over and collapse? When it is hot and when it is burning and when it is burning too long. All right? So with the comparison to a candle burning too long, it would be a safe assumption to say it's not just that the candle burning too long, but by comparing it, Montauk has been burning too long as well. If he is not happy, which he repeats twice, okay, so that syntax, that sentence structure reinforces this, that he was not happy, he was not happy. Why still smile? You can get some water, you can get some. You guys don't have to show it right now.
Still,
So I have to pretend to smile now so that when I come across someone like Captain Beatty or whomever, I'm smiling. So his smile isn't something that he feels, but his smile is essentially if you do something just out of habit, physically, we'll call it a lot of times MM. What kind of memory? It's muscle memory. Keyboarding, typing, whether it be thumbs, fingers, is muscle memory. It just automatically happens. For him, that smile's not something that's genuine, but it's muscle memory. I'm smiling because I'm supposed to smile. I see Jack walk in here, I have to smile. Hi, Jack. Good to see you. Whether I feel it or not. When you what? Mr. Weber came in third period today to watch me. He said he was going to come in 5th because he wanted to see you folks, but he skipped, came in here.
Why not?
I would go complain. No, you're good. All right, so that whole idea about happiness, Montauk, not something that's probably going to be too genuine here. We kind of reference this, and this is a good kind of overview of things. What is Millie's emergency? With what? Overdoses, with sleeping pills. What did you say? She ODs and then used another word. You said again. So which would imply what? Okay. We don't know how often it happens, but we know that it is something that occurred. We don't know what the overall intent with it. If it's an overdose, one of the assumptions would be suicide. Any other explanations besides her being suicidal that she would overdose?
Tries to forget.
I have to ask a follow-up question though. Forget what?
Books. Oh, is that what we figured out, that she like did it every time she found books?
Well, we didn't really get a whole lot of detail about it. I mean, she finds the books or knows about the books at the end. There's nothing to lead us to believe that she knows about them beforehand.
I didn't know, because it always says like she can't remember what happened before, so I didn't know if she says like.
Now, she does, and you even mentioning that this kind of has happened again. Her memory is completely out of whack. Now, it doesn't seem that she would be the only one like that, because even Guy doesn't know where they met before, when kind of asking about it. Someone could argue, is she at the point where she is just overly drugged, that it is stupidity in general, that she would keep taking pills over and over again, that she literally has forgotten about it, that she is too absorbed in what she has been watching with the TV screens, that she has no working memory, no real working mind at this point. That is a possibility. You get the sense, though, that whether it be suicidal, whether there is something that she wants to forget, or it'd be out of kind of stupidity or ignorance at this point of not knowing, that no matter what she says, compared to like how Montauk feels with number 2, could probably also come to the conclusion that Millie is not happy. I mean, with all of these aspects that we have there listed, suicide, wants to forget, stupidity, and stupidity because of not like IQ, but taking so many pills or being so absorbed in the technology, there's something about her world that makes her unhappy. There's something about her situation that is not allowing her to find any kind of joy, any kind of contentment. You go back to what Connor said, enjoying life with what is going on, with what you have. There's nothing about her life that it seems is going to actually provide any kind of everlasting satisfaction or genuinely happiness. The difference between her and Montauk would be, it seems that Montauk at least wants to try to figure out what he can maybe do to become happy. She's just kind of accepting her role. This is how things are. There's not going to be any sincere, significant change kind of starting to take place. And that part comes pretty soon. Rainwater. Symbolism. I know we're skipping Clarice and family. We've kind of talked about her a decent bit. Page 19. 2 through 20. Brennan has a wonderful reading voice that he likes to share. I don't know, do you?
No, I'm sick.
I'm sorry. I'm not going to read the whole thing. The rain was thinning away, and the girl was walking in the center of the sidewalk with her head up and the few drops falling on her face. She smiled when she saw Montauk. Hello. He said hello and then said, what are you up to now? I'm so crazy. The rain feels good. I love to walk in it. I don't think I'd like that, he said. You might if you tried. I never have. She licked her lips. Rain even tastes good. What do you do? Go around trying everything once, he asked. Sometimes twice. She looked at it. She looked at something in her hand. What have you got there? He said. I guess it's last of the dandelions this year. I didn't think I'd find one on this lawn this late. Have you ever heard of rubbing it under your chin? Look, and then she touches her chin with the flower, laughing or rubbing off and getting the color. Water. What's significance of water? Well, either from a literal standpoint with contents that we have, or when it comes to stories with some kind of figurative meaning. 2 hydrogen, 1 oxygen, and the first thing that you said is it puts out fires. So the fact that it puts out fires, you could say that there's a little bit of irony that's happening here because she is talking about she likes something so much. He's a fireman. Water would kind of be the enemy of what he is, where he starts fires, as opposed to now, water would be one of the chief aids, things that would assist a fireman. So at this point now, within Fahrenheit 451, it's kind of like an anti-fire. Why are rivers important to people in culture? Why is water important with spiritual or religious or philosophical viewpoints and things like that? So water tends to be, more from in a religious and in a philosophical thought, and even when it comes to dreams, people think of water as being cleansing, something that offers an opportunity for rebirth. Cleansing makes sense. Clean. Water takes off dirt. Rebirth and cleansing in a religious aspect, a baptism. Water's being put. So there is a cleansing that is taking place. Some would argue with sin, and there could be a rebirth that you have, new, within Christian values being have new life is taking shape. In Hindu cultures, in Buddhist cultures, in Jewish cultures, water is all very important to kind of a cleansing, a ceremony that would take place. In a more traditional way, what does water provide? I don't know if it was you who said it, or Connor, but someone said fish. And what do you need to survive? Food and water. Human body can only go so long, without both of those things. So in a figurative sense, cleansing, rebirth. In a literal sense, benefits of it, you need drink, you need food, could be fish if you live by it. If you're not getting fish directly from the water, water is helping with crops, plants, things, all that stuff. And also, it's a main form of get from one place to the next, transportation. So whether you're looking at it at a figurative or a literal standpoint, regardless, it is definitely deemed to be something that is necessary or vital to human life. Certainly within the book, generally we're going to go with more of a figurative sense of things, where cleansing and a rebirth, not that Montauk is completely starting over, but what is Clarice causing him to do? Rethink things, have a new perspective, have a new viewpoint. It's not an immediate change that's necessarily taking place. And that kind of rebirth or that different viewpoint is already taking shape before, because he has books. He's been confiscating books. He's been holding on to those books. The cleansing, also, he's walking down. Water would be coming down. If he's a fireman, generally, black and soot, all of those things going on. So the cleansing that could be happening for him could not only be a physical cleansing, but also something within his mind, a mental cleansing, a rebirth, a change in perspective, a overall new outlook on life. If there were to be a moment in the book where his view on things change, more so than at any other time, it's probably what's happening here with number 7 when we have the burning that's taking place in the woman's house. Number 7, so this is on the back of your page. This is significant because this would certainly probably be the premier turning point in the book. This is when all things kind of start to click for him. What happens that's so dramatic for him? He's burning down a house, which he's done before. He's burning books, which he's done before. And he's not taking the flamethrower itself and like pointing it at her like, okay, lady, get ready. But yeah, she certainly sticks around more than he was expecting.
They're like telling her to get out, and she's like, no.
All right, so number 1, I mean, she's refusing to leave, and they can't coax her to get out. I think we used a term to describe this last week. If she's refusing to leave, she knows that she's going to die. She wants to die she knows she can't preserve her books, but she wants to preserve her dignity. She is being a what? She is being a martyr at this point. One of the things that post-burning that Montauk, starts to ask Beatty about would be after the burning of the house has taken place. They said nothing on their way back to the firehouse. Nobody looked at anyone else. Montauk sat in the front seat with Beatty and Black. They did not even smoke their pipes. They sat there looking out the fronts of the great salamander as they turned a corner and went silently on. Master Ridley, Montauk said at last. What, said Beatty? She said, Master Ridley. She said some crazy thing when we came in the door. Play the man, she said. Master Ridley, something, something, something. We shall this day, this is on page 37, we shall this day light such a candle by God's grace in England as I trust never be put out, said Beatty. Stoneman glanced over at the captain, as did Montauk, startled. Beatty rubbed his chin. A man named Latimer said that to a man named Nicholas Ridley as they were being burnt alive at Oxford for heresy on October the 16th, 1555. This is not made-up detail. This would be an event that does take place. 1555, you have the burning at the stake and he is a bishop, of Bishop Nicholas Ridley. So he's being burned alive. The woman is being burned alive. If you are referencing a historical event, person, place, thing, what's the A word that we use for it? We have an illusion being made. All right, so we have a historical illusion. Ridley and Latimer, the other man that mentioned as well, but primarily Ridley is burned for not supporting the monarchy at the time. He is ordered to death by Queen Mary of England. Mary's nickname is Bloody Mary. Because what does Bloody Mary do?
Say it 3 times.
Things can happen because Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary kills a lot of people who are against her. England is divided. King Henry VI, I believe, has died, and there's argument over who has the right to the throne. Latimer and Ridley are arguing that one person has the right to the throne. Mary ends up coming to power, and so she is executing all those people who would be going against her. So the idea that you are going to be burning alive someone who is going against the viewpoint of the said government, it would make sense that you would kind of have this illusion that would be taking place, that we are going to allude to a person who gets burned for not supporting the monarchy or the government of the time. She, the woman, is not following along with the idea that you should not have books, that you shouldn't have access to information, all those things. What makes it really kind of startling is how does she, we know she dies by fire, but how does she get burned alive? She sets her own match on fire, and kerosene is being spread all around. So you have this woman, and kind of picture it. She takes a match, she strikes a match. You have a woman holding a match, holding fire, probably up right before she's about to drop it. What would she also be holding in her other hand? Books. Why? I mean, it does because of a torch and holding a book, but why create a parallel where you could have this Statue of Liberty kind of reference taking place? Who said that?
Was it on Adam?
No.
It was one of like.
Patrick. It's a big speech. Patrick Henry, I think, is the one who says, "Give me liberty, give me death." Ben Franklin gets attributed with it a good bit, but he didn't do the "give me liberty" or "give me death." But the idea here that you have an illusion being made, Statue of Liberty. What do we associate with the Statue of Liberty? Freedom. Statue. Well, and where is the Statue of Liberty placed? New York. So it's pretty much where you are going to have people coming into the country. It becomes very symbolic of the country, of the nation itself, of the United States. Freedom, liberty. We are in a time here in the 24th century, and again, we've already kind of used the term multiple times. This is a futuristic dystopia where it is a bleak, unhappy world. So all of the things that we kind of think of now within the United States, freedom, liberty, choice, right to knowledge, political freedom, personal freedoms, religious freedoms, those things seem to be going away. So, much like you have a martyr here who is dying because of not supporting the monarchy, we have a woman who's kind of becoming this symbol of the old way of the United States. And then what's happening with the book, that has been completely given up as a new form of United States has been happening. With the connection, because political, history, national pride is important, the history of firemen, do you remember any of the details that Beatty says, and Montauk would know about this stuff as well, that gets associated with the firemen? According to Beatty, the fire department is created by Benjamin Franklin, which is true. Benjamin Franklin did organize the first fire department. It was not in 1790, it was many years before, and it wouldn't be to start fires, but it was certainly to put fires out. But you are connecting that the history of firemen has been manipulated or changed to fit the political ideology of the current government. If someone argues something or says something that's not true, how do you prove them wrong? Facts. But if all the facts say, well, Ben Franklin started the fire department in 1790 to burn British books in the colonial America, if all the information is wrong, it becomes a lot harder to burn it, or to not to burn it, but to disprove it. So one of the issues that Bradbury certainly gets at is not only just people being too dependent on technology, but if you become too ignorant, like Billy, you can't recognize when a travesty is being done, or you can't recognize when there's political persecution or ideological persecution. If you don't have the facts to support it, then you just kind of blindly follow along with little seashells in your ears. Tomorrow, reading checklist, part number 2. We'll look over some things with part number 2. Vocab, member collecting on Friday, so don't forget about that. You have a study guide, but yeah. So there's more over there. So, reading check quiz, study guide tomorrow. So I'd say 2 months, and then slide it over. I know it's your first day back. I'll be here both days, so you're not changing my schedule one way or the other.
Probably not today.
Okay.
Could you do Wednesday?
We went to the probably like yeah, 2:1.
Yeah.
So,
Alright.
I'd say you're looking like 10 minutes.
Okay.